monsoon. Coal Ministry denies that supply to the power sector is lower. That's an exclusive.
In Q1 of 2018, our estimates, Nielsen estimates, have been in the range of 11% plus.
Market research agency Nielsen cautions against premature jubilation, and India's FMCG sector expects the pace of growth to slow down to around 11% in 2018, says monsoon and rural demand will be the key indicators. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on India Business Hour. I'm Shireen Bhan. The top story this evening: after 16 days of constant fuel price hikes, oil marketing companies today decided it was time for a cut. But there's nothing to cheer about for consumers. The downward revision was a mere 1 paise. You heard that right. Even this cut had its fair share of drama. Early in the day, the Indian Oil Corporation website showed that it had cut prices by 60 paise for petrol and 56 paise for diesel. This was corrected and consumers were literally left with just that 1 paisa token cut. So the revised price of petrol in Mumbai now stands at 86.23 a litre versus 86.24 yesterday. Oil Minister Narendra Pradhan defended the 1 paise price reduction. However, he added that today's price revision drama was due to the mistake of an oil marketing company employee.
जब से हम लोगों ने डेली प्राइस मैकेनिज्म बिल्डअप किए हैं, ये विषय कभी 1 पैसा, कभी 2 पैसा, कभी 12 पैसा, कभी 4 पैसा, कभी 27 पैसा ऊपर भी गया है, नीचे भी गया है. गलती से आज कोई हमारी एक अधिकारी की गलती के कारण ये कभी एक अलग प्राइस आई थी. वो एक गलती है, उस गलती को हम स्वीकार करते हैं, लेकिन ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ कि 1 पैसा घटा है या 1 पैसा बढ़ा है.
So what the minister there is talking about is what was first announced, which was 59 paise and then brought down to 1 paise. The 59 paise was an error according to the oil marketing company. Now the oil minister is saying that this is not the first time that a 1 paise cut or a hike has taken place. In fact, since daily price revision started, a 1 paise cut has happened as many as 10 times, including today. Prashant Nair is standing by with the 1 paise fuel math. Prashant, it's immaterial, this 1 paise cut, but it's actually not that unusual.
Well, it's safe to say that this 1 paisa cut in petrol prices, fuel prices at the pump is getting a fair bit of ridicule. You've got opposition parties, commentators, everyone trying to corner the government and saying, well, if you had to cut by 1 paisa after numerous hikes, why even bother? How does it matter? Is it a bit of a joke? I think the implicit assumption there is that the government sort of signs off on these price cuts, or they take an active decision in these price cuts. Well, that is not entirely the case, at least not right now, and I'll get to that in just a bit in terms of how the pass-through happens. But, I mean, to begin with, is a 1 paisa cut all that unusual? Well, I went back and looked at, since the time the daily price revision started, and I found 10 instances of 1 paisa cuts and 9 instances of 1 paisa hikes. I mean, so this, 1 paisa change has happened both times, on the way up and on the way down. So the allegation that this is the first time this has happened and this is really not done is not true. It has happened before and it has happened numerous times, as this graphic actually tells you. The other point I think which one needs to note is the pass-through mechanism. It's not as if global crude oil prices fall $5 one day and you see an immediate big cut in global in prices at the pump for petrol and diesel. The reason is, to set the local price at the pump, what is used is a 15-day rolling average of both the global crude oil price and the rupee-dollar exchange rate. While both the crude oil price globally and the rupee-dollar exchange rate has moved in favor towards a cut at the pump, well, it is not as fast as we'd like and hope to be. And I'll tell you why. Look at this change. It's a $1 change between the 23rd and the 24th, whereas you look at the 15-day rolling average price of global crude oil prices, I mean, it's not even moved. It's actually moved higher. And the reason is that as global prices come off, it comes into, it shows up in the local price with a lag, with a 15-day lag. So I think for us to expect a meaningful price impact may be fair. For us to expect to be paying a lot less at the pump may be fair, but it will show up with a lag. And for that, what you need is global crude oil prices staying where they are, or even actually drifting lower. That is the only way we are going to get this automatic daily revision meaningfully lower. Back to you.
Finance Minister of Kerala, Thomas Isaac, joins us now. Mr. Isaac, the state of Kerala, the first off the block in cutting the VAT rate to bring down the prices of both petrol and diesel to offer some relief to consumers. You're pretty much now throwing an open challenge to the centre.
Exactly. We never raised our tax rate. It was the Modi government that increased the excise duty on petrol by more than 200% and on diesel more than 300%. Now, at that time, the crude oil prices were declining, and therefore there was no kind of protest against the increase of the tax rates. But now the crude oil prices are rising. Everybody expects the central government to do the reverse, calibrate the tax rates down so that the prices don't increase. Instead, they're allowing the companies to raise the prices. And therefore, we have been telling them, do this, don't do this, don't do this. But what's the point in telling this government? Therefore, we have decided to precipitate things by unilaterally saying no. We don't want the additional tax revenue from the price increase. Therefore, we have calculated the price increase of petrol and diesel from 1st of April to this date. And then adjusted our tax rate downwards, 1.69% for the petrol and 1.75 for the diesel, so that the prices will come down by 1 rupee.
Yes. Mr. Isaac, I have a few specific questions for you, sir. You know, VAT is ad valorem, sir, so every time crude prices increase, state governments like yours stand to benefit. Now, one discussion that's currently underway is that should VAT that states impose also now move to becoming specific, as is the case with the excise that the centre charges. I want your comment on that, because this, we understand, is something that is under discussion.
No, it is not under discussion anywhere, because nobody can discuss it. Only us, we can discuss it. Sales tax is fully within our purview.
Yes, but would you be open to the idea of moving to a specific VAT, sir?
No, we are not going to negotiate these things as separate. First point to be negotiated and acted upon is, here is the central government who, without any remorse, has increased the tax rate more than double. And then preaching things of behavior to others. No. If you are serious about controlling the price of petrol and diesel, first roll back the increase in the tax rate that you infected. Then we'll sit down and discuss whether to go full surcharge or ad valorem.
So your message is... Your message to the centre is don't preach but act. Let me ask you, sir, do you have room to cut the VAT even further if we do continue to see global crude prices move higher, even though they've been declining over the last few days? But to provide more relief, do you have the elbow room to bring down your VAT rate even further? And also, if I could ask you, in terms of how much has accrued to you as a state government when we've seen the ad valorem benefit, what has been the revenue implication of that, and what is the revenue implication of this move?
See, suppose we had decided to collect the tax on the price increase of the petrol and diesel, that marginal increase in the price that taxed upon, at the present rate, we would have gained something like 500 crores. So we are giving up that 500 crores. So that is the, assuming the prices don't rise anymore, we are giving up 500 crores of potential revenue. Now your question is...
But you've made significantly more, sir. You've made significantly more on account of the fact that we've seen crude prices move up so significantly.
Who asked them to raise the price in the first place? We are telling them every day, you reduce the taxes which you raised, and we promise we won't tweak our rates high. That's what our promise.
That point I get. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing about that. I'm merely pointing out that you have also benefited from the fact that the duty structure is ad valorem, the state VAT is ad valorem, and all states like yours have also benefited on account of the higher global prices. So that has had positive revenue implications for your state.
My response would be to fund, I have already stated, we don't want this. Let them reduce the rate of tax and prices will come down, and we make a solemn promise. We won't raise the rate to keep up our revenue. 2, now since they are not listening to us, well, I have an initiative to give up the additional revenue that you accrue because of our ad valorem rate structure. Now, if you are asking me, are you going to do it in future? Well, I hope there will be enough protest in India that our action will also incentivize such social protest movement.
Thomas Ayers, I appreciate you joining us here, the Finance Minister of Kerala, also a member of the GST Council representing his state there on the government's decision to bring down the VAT rate and provide a rupee relief both on petrol and diesel per litre in the state. Joining us now to discuss this further is Narendra Taneja, the BJP's national convener of the Energy Cell, as well as R.S. Sharma, former chairman and managing director of ONGC. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us. Mr. Taneja, let me start by asking you, I mean, consumers are saying this is some sort of a bad joke that the government is playing on them. To start with, you've been asking people to be patient. You've been talking about arriving at some sort of a solution, a new mechanism that will provide relief to consumers. And then, after 16 days of seeing successive price hikes, there is a 1 paise cut that's announced.
Yeah, first of all, Shireen, not the government, say the companies, because that's basically where your questions should be addressed to. I mean, I've also seen, and I'm to be honest with you, even I was surprised. What is this joke? I mean, one paisa. I fully agree with you on this, and I think those people responsible for doing these daily number crunching at these companies' headquarters, Delhi, Bombay, etc. I mean, they should be
Mr.
careful
Taneja,
and be more sensitive to these things. I understand.
Okay. I want to interrupt you here because, you know, it's convenient for the government to wash its hands off and say that it's the oil marketing companies that decide pricing and we have no bearing on the way that market dynamics operate. Then why, sir, please explain to us, during the course of the Karnataka elections, did oil marketing companies not hike prices even though globally crude prices were on a rise? How can you explain that then, sir? Isn't it convenient to say today we wash our hands off because consumers are upset that there is a joke that's been played on them with the 1 rupee cut, and when the Karnataka elections were underway for 2 weeks, there was absolutely no change even though daily revision is the order of the day?
No, look, when the government took the decision to decontrol, that's the decision. Means the power is actually handed over from Shastri Bhavan bureaucrats or politicians to the headquarters of these companies. That's how it functions. And if you still want to believe that government every day,
Mr. Taneja, do you really want? No, but do you really then want us to believe?
Every day,
do you really then want us?
No, that's not how it works.
No, so this is a matter of. Sir, this is a matter of common sense, sir. I'm asking a very specific question. I'm saying if oil marketing companies are so free to decide whatever they want to do when it comes to pricing, then please explain to us that in the recent past, for 2 weeks, when global crude prices were rising every single day, why did the OMCs not hike prices for 2 weeks during the course of the Karnataka elections?
Yes, Shireen, very valid question. And I asked the same question. You know, the government didn't give them any directive. Absolutely no. Had the government been, involved in the whole thing, the issue would have been handled very differently. But we politicians know how to handle such things. Increase it by 6 paisa, decrease it by 13. It's a very simple thing. You don't need to have a genius to do it. These companies did that whatever they did. And I don't think it was a very smart way of doing it. And we are the one who have to explain it.
Mr. Sharma, let me ask you about what do you make of this 1 paise cut? And, you know, we've done some calculations because petrol prices, we've seen 10 1 paise price cuts in the past. October of 2017, 6 December 2017, 7 December, 9 December, 3rd February, 8th February, 21st February, 19th March, 10th March, and of course today, the 30th of May, where there has been a price cut of 1 paise. So 10 times we've seen a price cut of 1 paise, and similarly 9 times we've seen a 1 paise price hike. I mean, how does somebody understand this? What is this formula that allows oil marketing companies to hike by a paise and cut by a paise? How does it work?
Shireen, let me be more candid today. You know, I have been trying to be diplomatic, but the fact is fact. Media is very intelligent. Common man is very intelligent. The stories that has been coming from the official channels, they are least convincing. The thing is, all these oil marketing companies, the ownership lies with the sovereign government, central government. And no management would like to take a decision which antagonizes and which is not in the interest of the owner. So that is the state talk. And how come the three companies, they decide, is it a cartel? They decide that every day what is going to be the price increase, and all these three companies, they decide the same price increase. You know, we are trying to compare this regime to the global scenario where the daily price increases, adjustments happen. I have also been to those economies. Unfortunately, they are all developed economies. There you go from pump to pump, petrol, diesel prices differ, and those companies look at the margin, what price they can fix for the day, so that they don't incur loss, and they also enough attraction to the customer. First of all, I see no logic of daily price revision that has been implemented. I don't know, right from day one. This has become the transparency is totally lost. At least when 15 days adjustments are happening, so people were able to, you know, envisage what is coming in store. But now they only, when they wake up in the morning, you go to the pump. I also go and fill up the, when I go to the pump, I get to know that what is the price I am paying today.
Mr. Taneja, I want to now move to another issue, sir. You know, again, the government has been talking about wanting to provide relief to consumers. Look at the state government of Kerala, sir. First off the bat, announcing a cut as far as state VATs are concerned, bringing down prices of petrol and diesel by 1 rupee per litre starting the 1st of June. Why haven't the BJP governments announced a cut in VAT?
No, we have seen the report. Government has done it, which is good. I mean, I think it's a very good step, and other states, they should try to, you know, take a cue from that and try to do exactly the same. Because after all, when you look at the whole structure, is the state government which actually end up collecting
my point again, Mr. Taneja. My point again is very simple. All of you talk about the fact that the centre, which is run by the BJP operates across 20 odd states. Then why is it that BJP ruled states don't seem to be picking up on the directive that relief needs to be provided to consumers, and that states that have benefited because ad valorem is the VAT structure on account of crude prices, states have benefited? Then why is it that BJP states are not bringing down the VAT rate?
You ask long questions. You have to allow me some time to answer. You don't let me speak. Allow me, you know, if you have good questions.
Please go ahead.
But, you know, your question basically is coming from this belief that BJP is like one monolith thing, and the center party chief would pick up the phone and tell the chief minister, tomorrow morning you cut the duty on this and you cut taxes on that. That's not how they function. Each state, when it comes to money matters, revenue, they have their own calculation. And trust, let me tell you, you may not trust me when I say we don't interfere on day-to-day basis, but trust me, talk with your own sources in this government. State government, maybe BJP government, but they don't listen when it comes to money matters. They have their own concerns, own ground realities, own commitment, their own economic. When it comes to money, listen, when it comes to money, people don't listen to you. You can ask even a Hindu undivided family and they'll tell you that. And it goes the same for its political parties, goes same for various states.
I'll end by asking you, Mr. Sharma, what kind of formula gives oil marketing companies the ability to hike or cut by 1 paise? So please explain this to us.
Yeah, first of all, Shireen, to tell you, I have great respect for Mr. Narendra Taneja. We know each other quite well. I have huge respect for his knowledge and expertise. So whatever he has said, I endorse that. It's not that at the midnight the central government tells these companies that this is the price you do it at. There is software. The mechanism has been implemented by these companies in, I would say, in tacit understanding tacit go-ahead with the owner. Who's the owner? Now you make your guess. So with the owner, they have the understanding, they have the directions from the owner, what sort of mechanism should be there, and their software, that software works. And these companies, the only thing is, whether you call it cartelization or a mechanism where the same owner is there, how can, if the owner is the same, the companies can have a different pricing policies, so that is also an issue.
Narendra, Taneja and R.S. Sharma, always a pleasure. Appreciate your time here on Cnbc TV 18.
Right, so that 1 paisa cut translating into an exciting debate there. Let's move ahead now. There could be a major relief coming in as far as India's aviation sector is concerned. Sources tell CNBC TV 18 that at its next meeting, the GST Council is expected to discuss the proposal to bring aviation turbine fuel under the GST ambit. Now remember, this has been a long-standing demand from the aviation sector, and even at a recent meeting with the Aviation Ministry, the industry representatives had reiterated their demand. In fact, aviation stocks surged in trade today after our exclusive news break. Well, shifting focus to the Lal Street now, the markets ended flat after a volatile day of trade. The Nifty opened with a gap down but saw a sharp recovery in trade to end flat. Now the Sensex too reclaimed the 34,000 mark with a slight negative bias. Mid-caps ended just shy of 19,000 mark, while banks slightly outperformed with a 73-point gain. Well, the decision of the Indian stock exchanges to stop licensing their indices to foreign bonuses and NSE's subsequent legal tiff with Singapore exchange SGX has not gone down too well with the global index aggregator MSCI. Now the MSCI is looking at placing India on notice for this very move. But we're not alone. The index compiler has also placed Brazil on notice. According to them, India has flouted the anti-competition clause. They will now consult their clients before they announce the final result at the end of this year. Remember, India's weight within MSCI's EMs is a significant 8.5%. Well, news now, more news, this one coming in from the CBI. It has also now registered a case in the co-location case against Sanjay Gupta, the promoter of OPG Securities, his brother-in-law, as well as unknown officials of SEBI as well as the NSE. Now, CBI has alleged that Sanjay Gupta abused the server architecture of NSE in conspiracy with officials of the exchange. It also blames the NSE officials for providing unfair access to OPG Securities between 2010 and 2012. This in turn helped OPG get sensitive market data before any other broker in the market. Well, more from the world of finance. HDFC Bank ADR is surging in trade. This after SEBI announced that it will discontinue what is popularly called the FII trading window. This window allows FIIs to trade amongst themselves in shares of companies that have exhausted their foreign holding cap. Now, FII trading windows will be discontinued from the 1st of July. I continue to be an unashamed raging India bull. That's the word coming in from former WPP chief Martin Sorrell. He also expressed confidence that the Indian economy will regain momentum soon and added that there are several big opportunities in areas like technology and retail, distribution rather, thanks to disruption in the retail sector. Take a look.